Wow. Oh my god. Oh my god, it focused. Wow. Okay. The door just opened a little bit, like it cracked a little bit, like, and it was so scary. And it's even scary because it's 4 a.m. right now. Should I be sleeping? No, of course I shouldn't be sleeping. I should be talking to you guys. Okay. So I don't know your story. You could be someone who really, really wants to impress her crush, or maybe even someone who actually likes and wants to play the guitar, or maybe both, or like, I don't know what you're doing. Don't do it. It's a trap. I feel like back when I was just starting out with the guitar, I kept looking up like, how to start with the guitar. How do I start with the guitar? How do I begin doing the thing? And I was so scared. I was like shitting myself basically, because I don't know, I feel like people think that starting to play the guitar is so hard. No, everyone and their uncle can play the guitar. So if they could do it, why can't you? Get any notion that it's hard out of your head. It's not hard. We see people playing the guitar on a stage and we immediately think that it's really hard. But no, that's just a pentatonic scale. You have nothing to be afraid of. As someone that has 2 years experience, soon 3, with a guitar, I am going to tell you how to start and how I started and how much of a dimwit I was, so you don't feel bad about yourself later. So it's basically like a therapy session at the same time, which I explain. This is CORNEA-SAL, and if you're shitting yourself about how to start playing the guitar, I'm here to help you. I'm going to start with a story of how I actually started playing the guitar, or why I wanted to, because intention is really important at the end of the day, right? I remember I was in my school's library and I saw this guy and he was playing the guitar, right? And I was so shocked. It was fucking crazy. Like, I just forgot that existed. I forgot that was a concept. I never really cared about music like that back then. I don't know, I listened to like K-pop, which I will defend BTS to the end of my days. And I know maybe right now you're like, oh, it's an army. Click off. I'm leaving. I'm unsubscribing. No, I don't care. They're cool. They can sing and dance at the same time. I didn't even like metal. Like, I thought that was like screaming and like it sucked and shit. And I mean, it is kind of screaming and some of it does suck, but that's not all of it. Right, so I was like, not gonna lie, I want to try too. Like, I could be so much cooler than I am. In my 16-year-old mind, I was like, sure, let me learn guitar. I didn't have a guitar though. I basically like waited, and I went home one day and I was like, hey dad, you know what would totally be cool? If you got me a guitar. And he was like, no, I don't think so. And you know, because I've had a history of getting into hobbies and never ever getting to finish them. I've done everything in my life. I've done skating at the ballet, I've done fucking dancing classes, skated ice, painted, I've drawn, I've went to every fucking class you can imagine. And I didn't finish any of it because it just fucking sucked. What's the problem with that? Maybe everything just fucking sucks. No, I had a feeling about this one. And I was like, come on, dude. And he totally ignored me. Long story short, I got a guitar for free because it was my cousin's and shit. And I just had to go pick it up. When I started playing, so my intention was truly like out of, like, I was just really interested in the instrument. Like, I just thought it was really cool. And I made sure of that, because you start something, you're doing it just because of someone else, you want to prove something, then I don't know, like, personally, it has never worked for me. Make sure you're doing this out of genuine want, not to impress anyone. I mean, sure, that can be a motivation, but don't think about it like, how do I become fucking Slash in a month? You can't do that. You need time. There are some things like with muscle memory and stuff that need time, and this is one of them. And it's a fun skill to learn. And at the beginning, it's going to be a little annoying, but it's it's okay, like we can do it. So think your intention through and make sure that it's genuine, because you can trick your brain to a certain point. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, you got the guitar, what do you do? You're going to be really tempted by people to like, oh, learn the chords, learn theory. Fuck theory, man. Fuck theory. Fuck the chords. I mean, you're going to have to learn some of that eventually, but that's not important. Like, let's get to the good stuff immediately. That's what I did, and it really helps you get motivated. So I'm not telling you to go and replicate the solo of Master of Puppets. No, I'm not telling you to go and do something crazy right away, because you're never going to hear the end of it. But choose a song that you like, any song, and if it's in a slower tempo, even better, or like a riff that you like. One that a lot of people start out with is Do I Want to Know by the Arctic Monkeys, and it was actually the second thing that I personally learned, and it's really fun, and it's not that easy. Like, you know, you need some sort of movement to do the da-na-na-na. You know, the hardest part is always going to be to start. And I remember that back then I was corroded with fear. Like, I was so scared. I don't know why I was so scared. I was like, oh, what if I can't do it? What if it doesn't work out? What if that doesn't matter? Like, you can, like, I swear you can do it. Like, it's not that hard. And like, people are going to eat your head about it. Like, I don't know why people are like that. They're like, oh my God, that's so hard. What are you doing? How do you do that? And you just have to relish in it. Don't actually listen to them, because that's going to, like, if you think that something is hard, it's going to put a limit on what you can do. You have to see it as like a journey. There are a lot of things that are hard and that you can do. Like, I don't know, maybe you're really good at math. I'm terrible at math. And I remember that back then I would think that math was difficult. And yes, it is difficult. But if you think it's difficult and you see it as something difficult, then you're just going to think that you can't do it, and you can absolutely do it. You just need like a method. And with a guitar, it's the same thing. You will need a method. Just start with the song, any song that you like. So Do I Want to Know was one of my first riffs, but the first song that I ever played was Zombie by the Cranberries. It's really good to start with switches. So that's not hard, like, in the general scope of what you can do with the guitar, but you know, like, in the beginning, you have never moved your fingers like that. You have never like done something so specific like that. Like, have you ever like done something? No. No dirty jokes in the comments. No dirty jokes. You have never, you're not used to it, and just like moving your hands to like a certain fuck. Okay, I'm just gonna add context because I feel like this needs to. It's a weird thing to get used to. Like, it's a skill that is completely different from what you usually do in your real life, right? And like combining those two, like, you're going to feel a little stupid at first because you need some synchronization, right? And your brain is going to start working it. Also, I see stuff on YouTube, on Google or whatever, that are like strumming patterns, and I think that's the stupidest shit ever. Why? You just need to hear it. Just replicate it. Don't hear the instructions down, down, up, up. This is not a fucking PlayStation. Start developing your intuition and forget about theory right now, because I feel like a lot of people get stuck on theory, or they go to a professor, they immediately start with theory. That's the most boring shit ever when you're trying to start. I started learning theory this year. A lot of the best musicians, not all of course, but a lot of the best musicians have started just like by playing, just like by experience, by practice. And when you get acquainted with the instrument, you start building a relationship with your guitar. Then you start learning theory, because theory was made based off of what people did, not vice versa. You don't need theory to start playing. You're going to ask me, all right, so you want me to play a song? How do I know what to press? How do I read the instructions? For this, I actually installed an app. This is not sponsored. It would be crazy if I had a sponsor right now, right? So maybe they can be my first sponsor. There's this app that my friend recommended to me. Used to be my friend. I don't want to get into it. She recommended this app called Songster, which has guitar tabs. You're going to start learning tabs, and they're really, really easy to read. I'm gonna teach you how. Why not? I'm gonna teach you how. Because I'm fucking awesome. I'm gonna get Killing in the Name. Because that's a really good song. This is the stupidest thing. I knew it wasn't going to. Okay, so I'm just gonna leave it here. So first of all, you're going to twist your phone a little bit, and you're going to see it. So that is supposed to be the neck of the guitar, right? The one farthest to the left is going to be the thickest string, which is the low E string. You don't have to remember that right now, but that's what it's called. And the one in the farther right is going to be the high E string. So that's a little one. You have a play button. I can't play it because YouTube is going to fucking demonetize me. Rage Against the Machine is going to fucking sue me. You know, those are the strings. So you have a location already. The rest of the things, like the numbers, are going to be the fret numbers. So a fret is like that little cage that you see in the guitar. Those little squares that separate the parts. And you know, you're going to count them like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. If you have an acoustic guitar, maybe 12 is a little hard to reach. But if you have an electric guitar, it probably goes up to 20. If you have a really kick-ass guitar, it may even be like 25. But I don't think you have that yet. And if you do, then damn. Drop your ad so I can fucking rob you. So you're going to look at the number first. So let's say we look at 11. We're gonna get into the 0 in a bit. You're going to go down frets and you're going to search for that one. You're going to look for that one. And then you're going to look at which string it's pointing to. You're going to press on there, and I really want you to get in the middle of that. It's going to be separated by little lines, right? Like the frets are separated by lines. I don't want you to press the line. Press the middle, okay? It's going to sound beautiful, and I want you to press it well, and it's going to hurt. You're going to have to not be a little bitch about it. It's going to hurt at first. To this day, I still get blisters on my fingers to this day, especially because I play the bass sometimes. You know, you're gonna have to suck it up, but you know, no pain, no gain. The more it hurts and the more time you let it build up, the better you're going to be, the more practice you're going to have, and one day it's not going to hurt anymore. You're going to barely feel it. So you're gonna press well, and then you're going to do that string. You did your first note. Congratulations. That's correct. And it has to sound clear. Like, dun. I don't want any like, if it sounds weird and you're actually pressing it correctly and you're pressing all the way, then it may be badly calibrated, which you have to take it to a luthier. If it kind of works for now, just leave it be. You're seeing this and you're like, bro, CORNEA-SAL, what does 0 mean? Where's the 0th fret? And to that, I say that's actually basically you just don't press any fret. You just don't use your left hand or your right hand if you're left-handed. And if you're left-handed, I still recommend you learn how to use your left hand for the frets and use the right hand for strumming, because you're going to have a very limited selection of guitars. And it's kind of going to be the same thing. So, you know, why not get used to that? Oh my god, I hate left-handed guitars so much. I hate them so much. Please don't do that shit. You're not gonna press on anything. You're just going to go at the string. I don't know, typically I just ignore the tempo. You may see an X sometimes, and that just means that it's muted. And to mute a string, you just lightly press on it to the point where you're like almost like covering it, and there's going to be no sound when you play it. You know, it is muted here, but you don't really have to mute it. Just when you're doing the strumming, don't touch that last one. Just don't touch it. Like, just don't go that far. And remember, another thing is that when you're starting to play the guitar, you may be really tempted to just like start and be really close to the neck. You don't have to be that close. So when you're playing, I want you to imagine there's like a tennis ball in here. You have like space, you know? Otherwise it's gonna be, and you're not gonna have much space to move. And that's annoying. And it's going to catch up to you eventually. For example, this is 0. If you're using the song as an example, this one's muted, so we're not gonna play it. There, I'm muting it with my fingers. And now I can also mute it with my palm. It's a palm mute. You're just going to look it up one by one. And eventually, when you get enough practice, you're just going to do it in your mind, and you're going to do it really quickly. But you need to let your brain get used to it at first. First, we see there's a 3 here, and there's a 2. And we don't play this one, but I don't feel like muting it, so I'm just not gonna go there. So if you play the whole thing, there you go. That's the beginning. And I'm pretty sure you can do this. In the beginning, you're not gonna be able to do it this fast because you're just starting out. Don't pressure yourself into doing things fast. This is a zombie song. And you know, right now I can play like that, but back then I was playing it like, and you know, that's completely fine. Like, I was just starting out. It's actually tuned to drop C. It's not gonna sound like that when you do it. But you know, for a start, don't be rough on yourself if you can't go as fast as you want. To go fast, you need to go slow first. To be good at something, you need to be shitty at it first. I was fucking horrible. But you know, by being kind to myself, by allowing myself to be terrible, I allowed myself to be really good at it. With my own technique of just like practicing and doing the stuff that you like and then slowly building up, in 2 years, I can now play just about anything I want, except for like crazy fucking sweeps and like insane solos, because I don't know, like to do that, you actually have to practice that solo, like specifically, and that's something that I'm not willing to do. But if you do, and if you want to be absolutely crazy, so an absolute shredder, then you have to build your way up there, and eventually it's a journey that you enjoy, not a destination. Because imagine if, I don't know, tomorrow you woke up and you can play everything absolutely perfectly. Yeah, that would be awesome, that would be great, but eventually it would just feel empty because you didn't do anything to win that over, you know? I remember the first time that I grabbed my own personal guitar, I just didn't know that I had to press that much, and everything just sounded muted, and I was like, damn, this shit's broken. I can't believe they gave me a broken guitar. I'm so unlucky. And then I looked it up on YouTube and I felt like an idiot, because I was. But that's completely fine, because if I hadn't been an idiot, then I wouldn't know all this stuff now and I wouldn't be saying it to you. Basically, enjoy the journey. And what they say about just, you know, like there's this usual advice that everyone gives you when you're trying to do something. Just practice. And it's so annoying because obviously I need to practice, like that's so stupid. But it really is key. Like you really do need to practice a lot. A lot of it is muscle memory and just getting used to it. One thing that I forgot to mention, don't forget to tune your guitar. It's not hard. I promise you, it's not hard. Anyway, don't be afraid to start out. Don't be afraid to start out because you're starting out. So you want to have fun and you want to remember that it's supposed to be really pleasurable for you. Don't pressure yourself to go fast. It's a journey and everyone goes through it differently. Your experience isn't going to be the same as mine. Eventually you start building up rhythm, start building up your intuition and your muscle memory, and there's no way you will fail. Like really think about it. Like if you practice and you are consistent enough, can you really fail? This was CORNEA-SAL with Ruby number 3, and today I'm telling you, sometimes things are easier than they seem. It's more of a consistency thing rather than a difficulty thing. I hope that this video gives you a little bit more bravery and courage to start, and I'll be waiting to see your progress. Thank you so much.